The most dangerous way to lose weight. When you mimic starvation by doing a fast, you trigger all these different genes that not only help you lose more weight and burn fat, you also live longer, you have better cardiovascular, better blood sugars. But my question is, way in the past, when we had a famine and adapted to it through these genetics, didn't we also have a drought? If that's true, don't we have genes that also protect us against dehydration? I looked it up, and the answer is absolutely. There's over 50 different genes that protect us and also produce a lot of health benefits, including decreased risk for cancer and all sorts of things. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Wow, dehydration is dangerous, and we need water. Because by the time we're thirsty, it's too late. We're already dehydrated. You ever hear that? I stumbled on this amazing study I want to share with you. It was on little birds that can fly across the desert without water, just survive. And there was a study, and the first group, they fed them food and water. The second group, no food, just water. And the third group, no food and no water. That's called dry fasting. And the results blew me away. The dry fasting group generated 6 times more water than the group that only drank water. The dry fasting group also burned more fat. But when fat is burned with oxygen from the air, the chemistry of it turns it into water. I think we can use dry fasting to our benefit. 12 hours of dry fasting for 30 days. There's a lot of research into that area that shows a lot of health benefits and not many problems, not many side effects, if any. So when we're talking about short-term dry fasting, I'm only talking about 12 hours and maybe 20 hours to start out. I'm not talking about some long dry fast, okay? But I first want to tell you where this whole water thing came from as far as people pushing water on you. It's actually developed from a campaign when the government partnership with certain corporations called Drink Up. Don't drink the tap water. We must have bottled water. So the companies that sell bottled water are behind those campaigns. And they basically educated us that we need to drink more water because dehydration is the most dangerous thing. Well, if that's true, then we should also never go without food. We should probably eat every hour and be nourished. What's interesting about the water bottling companies, the top 3 companies, Nestle, Coke, and Pepsi. Same companies that sell, ultra-processed foods and liquid candy or soda pop, energy drinks with a lot of sugar. They basically have markets on both sides, right? They have the water side and also the junk food side. So listen, I'm not against water. Just drink when you're thirsty, but you may want to look at this dry fasting as an extra tool to use when you need to. Let's dive into the details of this. There's some rules. You want to go slow. Okay, you don't want to just jump into fasting right away because you want to first adapt to fat burning. So you want to get on a lower carb diet for a while to make it easy on you. That's going to get things ready for you to do the fast. You shift over to burning more fat. And then when you transition into fasting, it's like really easy. You have no cravings, your hunger goes away, and it makes it doable. If you do fasting, you always want to start with the water fasting, okay, before the dry fasting. So with water fast, you're taking supplements like electrolytes, B vitamins, sea salt. With dry fast, you're not consuming any electrolytes, any pills. You're not drinking coffee. You're not doing anything with water. And your body will start to adapt and hold on to the salt and water as much as it can with this shift in hormones. But I'm telling you, a lot of people have never got their body into a state where they're actually making water. But then you want to kind of graduate into the dry fast on a very small little level that's fairly easy, but I think it can produce massive results even if you do it in a smaller scale. Why? Because 1 day of dry fasting is equal to 3 days of water fasting. Some other things that you want to do is stay in a cool environment. Don't make the mistake I made by spending a lot of time outside sweating. You don't want to do that because that's going to really dehydrate you even more. Now, I did fine, but I can tell it was just too much stress because listen, when you're dry fasting, you're turning off your digestion. your kidneys are not having to work hard. So all of this resource that your body has can switch to repair, healing, regenerating, fixing stuff. So we don't want to necessarily be adding high intensity exercise. You can walk. You don't want to be sweating and doing work outside that's involving more dehydration. Okay, I made that mistake, so don't do that. And also, when you get into the longer fast and you refeed, you want to just do liquid type stuff, a little bit, maybe 8 ounces every 4 hours for the first day, the second day, and the third day. This is more for a longer fast, but I just want to let you know that you want to really gradually introduce your food slowly. Kefir is good to help fortify the gut. Bone broth is good. But this video is just to kind of give you another tool to potentially use to help you lose more weight by putting your body in a state where it can only get water from fat. So it's forced to burn more fat. So I think the first step you should do is to learn how to do the ketogenic low-carb diet. And for that, I put this video up right here. Check it out. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.